Coach, thank you so much for spending some time with us on game day. First and foremost, the first game of the year. So many good things happened in that game. When you got a chance, you and your staff, to get together, talk about that tape, dissect the tape, what did you bring out of that game?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and I think time helped us gain a little more perspective on that game. Right after it, emotions are raw, and I was pretty frustrated because I thought the final margin did not represent how competitive that game was for 33 minutes. I mean, we had a layup to cut it to one possession with 7:20 to go, you know. So we were in that game, we were competing, we were hanging with them. And the reality is just down the stretch, we wanted it so bad. Like to our guys' credit, they wanted that chance to get a big scalp and win that game. And when it became clear that Wisconsin was going to win, when the game went from 5 to 13 or whatever, we just kind of broke, and we stopped doing things the right way. We started taking bad shots. Our ball stopped moving, and we started gambling on defense, trying to create steals. And so that was really the big message coming out of that game is like, we got to be committed to what we do. When adverse times present themselves, you got to double down on your principles. We don't need heroes. We don't need to do any extra stuff. We got to defend, rebound, take care of the ball, share the ball. Share the juices. Everybody gets a touch. So we've emphasized that. I think that's our approach into this game is we got to be more process oriented. We got to be comfortable in our skin that we're going to play our game, play our style of basketball. And if that means we lose by 8 or lose by 2 or win by 2 or win by 6, we got to be able to live with that, but we got to be attentive and faithful to the things that we care about, the stuff that we harp and practice every single day. So that's our approach going into this one. Now, again, this team's very unique. They have a totally different style of play than Wisconsin. It's almost mirror opposite. So West Virginia really tries to pressure you in the half court. They have a defense that's designed to create a lot of turnovers. It's something their head coach has been really good at as a head coach. He's also been a part of programs as an assistant that have been very good in that area. And so when we bring the ball across half court, they're going to deny the trail. They're going to deny the wing. They're going to try to make it really hard for us to move the ball side to side like we want to. And then whenever we drive we drive inside the three, they are going to bring aggressive help, especially on the baseline side. So on those baseline drives, they're going to run over, put their chest on the ball outside the lane line, kind of zone up on the backside, trying to kind of trap you, spook you, and get you to turn over the ball. Now, the good news is if we can hang on to our guts and be tough and take care of the ball and not turn it over, you can get open threes on the backside. So that will really be the biggest theme of this game. I told my guys this is a take care of the ball scout. This is about keeping our turnovers down. The taking care of the ball was an area we were not good against Wisconsin. We had 19 turnovers, which is way too many. But to be honest with you, that was a little uncharacteristic of this group. Like we had played 2 scrimmages before against mid-major opponents in Davidson and Elon, and we had 9 turnovers and I think 11 or 12 turnovers in those 2. So it hasn't been a trait of this group, but it showed up in a big way in Wisconsin. Part of that was playing on the road, hostile environment. We stepped out of bounds a few times, the moment got to us a little bit. But this is a team that's trying to hurt us in that way. So we got to be tough with the ball, keep it under 12, 13 turnovers, something like that. I'd love for even lower, but that's where we got to be to stay in the game. And then on the other end of the floor, their coach joysticks the game. He sits back, he really looks at how you guard things, he looks at matchups and runs different actions based on what you're doing. So they're going to try to get like guys like DJ Smith switched on to Jasper Floyd, who's their point guard. He's big, 6'3" guard, physical, gets in the paint, backs you down, like Barkley used to do. But they also have some unbelievable shooters. So Honor Huff came from Chattanooga. I think he led the country and made threes last year. It's very, very important we don't give him threes. And then Trayshawn Eaglestaff came from, I want to say, North Dakota State, one of those schools up there in the hinterlands. And he can really, really shoot the ball as well. So we got to not give him threes. And then Obioha, I think we're familiar with him. He was at Wilmington, big body, 7 foot wide. He's like a house down there, just takes up a lot of space. You got to get around him, keep the ball out of the post, and block him out. So it's a tough challenge, but I think our guys have the right approach to it, and we just got to chip away one mini game at a time, one possession at a time, not make it bigger than it is. And if we're faithful to how we want to play, I think we can stay in the game for a long time, and hopefully we're looking up with 4 minutes to go and it's tied or something, and then you got a chance to do something special.
Coach, it's only a small sample size. Obviously, you'll even know more about tonight. And you had a good idea with, again, scrimmages, playing two good mid-major teams that you won against, of who was going to perform and what people were going to do. Were there any surprises for you in a good way after that game, of guys that you were like, okay, the lights came on and this has been really good?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I thought DJ Smith had a really nice game offensively, made some shots, looked every the part of guy who belonged on that stage. It felt comfortable in that game. There were some little things offensively I would have liked from him. Just share the ball a little more. I thought he ball got a little sticky. I thought he tried to will us back in the game a couple times. It just didn't work out. But that's normal. You know, that's part of being a guy that's entrusted with a lot of responsibility, is you're going to feel some pressure to deliver on that. So it's just striking the right balance with him that way. But he's going to be a huge part of our deal moving forward, no question about it. Jeremiah Johnson's a guy that honestly has been awesome offensively in our two scrimmages. I think he had 25 and 26. And then give Wisconsin credit. They practiced too. They had a game plan as well. They did a good job taking him away. And he was a little passive too. I think he would admit that. So we got to get both those lead guards kind of firing on all cylinders at the same time. When they're both in that 15 points type, 15 to 20 point type ranges, that's when I think this team is at its best.
Coach, finally, man, it's a lot just to put together a game plan with the short rest. I mean, Wisconsin, Monday night, get back to Bowie's Creek about 2 a.m., turn around, you're flying yesterday into Pittsburgh, taking a bus to Morgantown. How do you keep the guys fresh, both physically and mentally?
That's one of the biggest challenges in coaching. I mean, that is one of the eternal trade-offs, is what is the trade-off between rest and mental freshness and vibes versus preparation. And I know myself, I tend to err on the preparation side of things. I want to make sure we've got answers for all the questions on the test. And the guy I worked for before this, Todd Golden, he was very more on the side of being rested and being alert mentally, and just getting tons of sleep and being ready to go that way. So we got to kind of combine both visions to make sure this team's put in the best position to win each game. I mean, I think early in the season we'll err a little bit on the preparation side, just because there's a long way to go. Like, we need to make sure we are improving. That's my biggest thing as a coach, is like, if we continue to get better day by day over the next 6 months, we'll be in a good spot at the end of the year. But if we plateau, that's when you won't have as good a season as you want to have. So I'm just looking for constant growth. That's what we're trying to emphasize with this group: stay in a growth mindset. They've been good that way. They've been coachable, but we got to go take another step tonight.
Coach, thank you so much for the time and good luck tonight.
Roll humps, baby. Let's go.